Hi guys, and welcome to Football Canapes once again. As we discuss in this video what has happened in the Premier League this weekend, and believe you me, I don't know where you have been if you don't know what has happened, because there has been plenty that has happened. And of course, in this show we will be discussing all of it, and I mean all of it. And yeah, so we will be talking about everything that there is to be talked about. And yeah, so I mean 10 matches, 10 matches, or 9 of them have been played. 9 of them have been played, and just one remains. That is the South Coast Derby, which will be played tomorrow or Tuesday morning, if you are in countries where with the time is different to where with the time is you are in a different time zone. So that's what I meant to say. I mean, that's what I meant to say. Anyways, uh, I mean, there's been so much that has happened. I mean, I will hold my horses for the game that has just finished. That is between Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. We will be. I mean, believe you me, I will be spending a fair bit of time on that game, and fair bit of time on that game. But before we do that, I want to talk about some other stuff as well, some other games, and then we will get to. But believe you me, there is plenty, and I mean plenty to talk about. As far as Premier League is concerned, this weekend. So let's start right at the beginning. The first match of the league, of the Premier League weekend, which was between Newcastle United and Manchester City. And then we will of course get to the Manchester United debacle that we have just seen. So let's just talk about the first match of Manchester City. Of course, they dropped Manchester City dropped points last weekend against against Arsenal. I mean, they played about how much, 50 odd minutes against 10 men, and it was a late equalizer by John Stones in a game, or in an attack where the ball was pinballing all the way around. And yeah, so and coming into this weekend, they Manchester City probably knew that that the that they couldn't really afford to drop points against the Newcastle side that is on the up. But Pep Guardiola, from his previous two instances, knew that it would be tough. It would be tough getting points at St James's Park against a Newcastle side, which usually does come up with the performance following a defeat or a bad performance. And last time round last time round it was a fairly poor performance by Newcastle United, which ended up in a 3-1 defeat for Newcastle United. So I mean, Manchester City, I watched the whole game, and Manchester City never looked like the team that they usually are. Vivacious, and partly because two of their better midfielders, players who help them keep possession, create chances, destroy attacks for others. I mean, They were missing in that in this game, and they were missing in this game. And Rodri, unfortunately, will be out for a long time. Will be out for a long time. Let's hope. I mean, I am doubtful that he'll be back at the beginning of next season. Although, when is it? August, right? August 16th. And today is what? So he could quite conceivably come back at the at the at the at the beginning of next season. But anyways, we will stick to what this season is about. So Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri were missing. Phil Foden was of course on the bench, and Bernardo Silva hadn't been in good form. And what we saw was a performance. I mean, Manchester City did dominate possession, but as far as the chance creation is concerned, Newcastle weren't without their chances. They created their own chances as well, and 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 unfortunately, I mean, I'm pretty sure you know the result. The game ended 1-1. Newcastle had the chances to win the game as well. Newcastle had one penalty, but could easily have had two, maybe even more. Especially the Joe Linton one, where Kyle Walker brings him down, was disappointing. Was disappointing given that VAR. I don't know what they look at, and what they look at, and yeah, I mean they should have rectified their mistake. A lot of people have been saying that the first one that Gordon got wasn't perhaps a penalty, but for me it was a penalty. I mean, we have seen given penalties given for less, even less, and and yeah. So I mean, not sure where people are coming from. It is going to get given every day of the week, say twice on Sunday. And I mean, Manchester City were lucky. They could have easily lost that game. And then and then and then uh, and then uh, uh, I mean, Pep Guardiola is always gracious in defeat. I mean, it wasn't a defeat. I mean, even when his team doesn't perform, but some might say that it's usually easier when your team doesn't lose all that often. So that ways, I thought the signs for Newcastle United are promising. The signs for Newcastle United are promising. As for Manchester City, we will, to and fro between other games as well. Manchester City are now what, second in the table. I'll just open the Premier League table as well. Just to keep giving you references. Just to give you references. So Manchester City are on 14 points, as are Arsenal and Liverpool. Liverpool are top of the table with 15 points from their six games, and Manchester City could have gone top. I mean, they were top at that time because they had played one more game than most of their title rivals, Arsenal probably, and Liverpool as well, if you want to include their name. And and yeah, so I mean, a poor result for Manchester City, but it may look now, but a lot of big teams are yet to visit St James's Park. Arsenal have usually found it tough at St James's Park. Chelsea have been beaten last 2 years. Spurs have already found out how dangerous Newcastle United can be, and how dangerous Newcastle United can be, and I mean, only time will tell whether whether we you know whether we in May are talking about this result as a perhaps a tipping point or a crucial point, or a, two dropped points or 1 point gained by Manchester City, but from the looks of it, when you have taken the lead, it might look bad, but Newcastle did push Manchester City all the way and all the way, and given the fact that Manchester City were missing two key players, John Stones, I mean Nathan Ake is missing as well, but I'm not sure where he would have played. Where he would have played. Oscar Bob is injured as well. No Doku, no Savinho. They were both on the bench. And from a Newcastle's point of view, Newcastle United. I'm a Newcastle United fan. Have been for a long time. Have been for a long time. Newcastle, I mean, gave it a right good old go. I mean, some of the chances, the chance for Joe Linton, chance for Sean Longstaff. So it could have been worse for City. It could have been better as well, but it wasn't, and in the end, Manchester City Manchester City did uh, get a point, and who knows? Only time will tell. In terms of performance, Manchester City perhaps weren't at the races. Erling Haaland, I don't. I mean, I remember two efforts that he had. Both were straight at Pope. One from his left foot, other header which didn't trouble the goalie that much. It was more like a back pass which he could collect. So that ways, I thought that Erling Haaland was kept relatively quiet. Last season, I don't think he played, and I don't know how many games Erling Haaland has played against Newcastle, but his record is pretty, I mean, substandard if you compare it with his overall record for Manchester City. So I mean, there is and good thing is that next week Manchester City are Fulham, have Fulham at home, and Eric, I know Eric Ten Hag. We will get to Eric Ten Hag as well. We will get to Eric Ten Hag as well, and I know that that Erling Haaland will fancy his chances. Maybe Kevin De Bruyne will be back. I doubt Kevin De Bruyne will be playing against Sparta Prague. Sparta Prague. I think it is Sparta Prague for Premier for I think it is Sparta Prague for Manchester City in the Premier League this midweek in the Champions League, and but I doubt that Kevin De Bruyne will be playing. I doubt Kevin De Bruyne will be playing in the Champions League. And next week, if he plays against Fulham, then good on him. Then good on him, and yeah. So I mean, on the face of it, it might look like a bad result for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, but time will tell. Who knows? Who knows that? Who knows? Come the end of the season, that this point is something that gives Manchester City the title. Although about the title, I will say that this season just got a whole lot interesting with all the stuff that is happening. We will get to Arsenal and Cole Palmer, and of course Chelsea as well. Manchester United is the big hot topic that's going around, but we will get to that as well. Don't worry. We have got a lot of time on our hands tonight, and we will not be sparing anything. And some harsh and required words will be spoken with keeping Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag in mind, and credit to Ange Postecoglu as well. So yeah, I mean, if you're injury ridden and you get a point at St James's Park, then I think you should accept that point. Uh, I mean, like, grace it with what it's worth, and then we had Newcastle United, for whom last weekend was a really chastening one. This weekend, during midweek, Newcastle United have got AFC Wimbledon in the Carabao Cup. The match was postponed because of flooding at the ground of AFC Wimbledon and AFC Wimbledon, and hopefully at St James's Park Newcastle can go through, and then the draw has already been done. It will be Newcastle and at home and at home. Sorry, it's late and I am a bit tired. So yeah, good point from Newcastle's point of view. A point against Manchester City is never a bad one, never a bad one. And up next for Newcastle are Everton, away at Goodison Park. So away at Goodison Park, and then the international break. So, uh, I mean, let's see where it takes Newcastle. But hopefully, from a Newcastle's point of view, and as I have already told you, I am a Newcastle United fan. It will be onwards and upwards. Just adjusting my camera, and it will be onwards and upwards. So, so, uh, yeah. Let's see, Sandro Tonali getting his first start in the Premier League for almost a year, maybe 11 months. That's a good sign. Players injuries, if they can clear up, then that would be a big plus as well, and that would be a big plus as well. And yeah, so let's see where it takes us, and then let's talk about Arsenal. Arsenal, they were playing host to Leicester City. Leicester City in the Premier League at home. That is the Emirates. Emirates. I nearly said the Etihad, but at Emirates, and I mean, they look like a team on fire, a team on fire, and a team on fire. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. and yeah, so as I was saying, sorry, uh, I've completely lost my flow and completely lost my flow. So as I was saying, Arsenal playing Leicester, and Arsenal are were playing Leicester, and Arsenal were playing Leicester, and it for a long time it looked like they are in control. Gabriel Martinelli scored, then Leandro Trossard scored to make it 2-0, 2-0 before half time, 2-0 before half time, and but then in the second half it was a completely different story, a completely different story as uh, Leicester come back into the game, and James Justin, the right back of all people, pops up with a header which deflects off Kai Havertz, I think it was, to make it 2-1, and then he scored an absolute stonking volley, which was like perhaps the goal of the week, as David Raya was helpless, and and up until very late it looked like the game would end in a 2-2 draw, but Arsenal, being Arsenal, um, they come back into the game. They come back into the game, and they scored via Trossard from a corner. Corners seem to be a really a big I mean, I'm just using the word in footballing sense. Seems like a big weapon for Manchester for Arsenal, and it's now a lot of games where Arsenal have scored decisively from corner. Three in a row against Leicester, against Manchester City, and against Tottenham have as well, that Arsenal have made the corners count, and their fans would be really happy with the 3 points, but the scoring wasn't done there, and the scoring wasn't done there, and they made it 4-2 with Kai Havertz, top poking it from virtually the goal line to make it 4-2. It was checked, but wasn't offside, as it came off the defender, and it was it was really I mean, in the end the scoreline may look uh, may look you know fairly convincing, but it wasn't, and I mean, Arsenal till very late had to fight for it, and uh, and and but one thing is, I know that Martin Odegaard has been missing, and but any team that defends well from corners, Arsenal will find it tough to beat them. I just genuinely think that any team that defends well from the corners, Arsenal then might find it tough to beat them without Odegaard and Saka. I'm not really sure how fit Saka is, so without Saka firing and Odegaard playing, so it could be. And Mikel Merino, I'm not sure when he will be back. The Spaniard, the Euro 2024 winner, that uh, that that Arsenal have signed from Real Sociedad. So let's see when I mean when Odegaard is back, and other stuff as well about about um, about Odegaard. And yeah, so in terms of a result, it I mean it can be sometimes because the next last week was on I mean it ended up with such a high for I mean high I mean there was a lot of talking points, there were a lot of talking points that 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 were there. And in the midweek, what I think helped Arsenal was their game against was the game against what's the name, Bolton Wanderers, where they won 5-1 5-1 at Emirates. So I think that somehow took some pressure off. And then the way they played against uh, Leicester, even though they did score goal, Leicester would feel hard done by. Leicester, I mean, currently I don't think they are in the relegation zone. They're not. They are just outside of it. Crystal Palace on goal difference are in the relegation zone, but they could tomorrow go into relegation zone if Southampton beat Bournemouth in the South Coast Derby, then Leicester could end up in the relegation zone. And also, don't forget that Steve Cooper, a former Nottingham Forest manager, is under considerable pressure. Is under considerable pressure. From the fans for some of the decisions. And yesterday, bringing Abdul Fatawu on when it was 3-2. I mean, if you want to bring him on earlier. But I mean, for yesterday, I can understand his team was defending well. He probably didn't want to change things. He didn't want to change things in terms of how the defense was set up. But yep, I can understand that. But he needs to give Abdul Fatawu. I mean, I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. But I hope he gives his player some more minutes on the pitch. Otherwise, the voices against Steve Cooper will probably get louder and louder. And 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 yeah, I mean, he could end up getting a sack, and could well be the first manager to get a sack if things don't you know turn around. Although for Leicester, I think the primary goal is uh, is to remain in the Premier League. And the way, I mean, their case has been going with the I mean they won a case against Leicester won a case against the Premier League on a technicality. So I mean, the cynics, the conspiracy mongers would think that the Premier League are out to get them. I don't know. I don't know. But I really do hope that Leicester can stay up. But I don't want. I mean, I hope everything happens on merit, and and they can stay up. Leicester City. Terrific result for Arsenal. They are second. They have had a tough start as well. So going forward, I think they can build on they can build on this result. The decent result they got at Manchester City. And of course, tougher. I mean, there will be other tough challenges as well. But uh, but for now, good result for Arsenal. And let's see. I don't know who they have got in the Champions League. midweek. If you know, do let me know in the chat. I'm not. I I don't know who Manchester Arsenal have got in the Champions League, but anyways, uh, let's uh, let's uh, let's move on. Let's move on to Chelsea. Let's move on to Chelsea, and I mean, if you are going to talk about Chelsea, then we have to talk about one certain Mr. Cole Palmer as well. He was outstanding yesterday. I mean, yesterday on Saturday. Let's call it Saturday only because I mean, uh, it's in some areas it was Saturday. In some areas it is in some areas it was yesterday. In some areas it's today or day before yesterday. So whatever it was, Cole Palmer, what a talent. So do City regret selling Cole Palmer to uh, Chelsea? I don't think so. I mean, it's always nice when I mean, maybe I worded it wrong, but I mean, he didn't want to say Pep Guardiola didn't want to sell Cole Palmer, but he didn't want to sell Cole Palmer, but he in the end he had to because he didn't want to stay, and he's only a young man and who believed in his ability, and he went to Chelsea. He was their player of the season last time round. He was their player of the season last time round, and this season you may say it might have started slowly. He scored against West Ham. He scored against Wolves. I mean, yesterday on Saturday, he scored 4 goals, and 4 goals in just one half of football. He absolutely got, he absolutely he absolutely got Chelsea, uh, you know, um, uh, he absolutely got Chelsea, you know, uh, back in the game against Brighton and Hove Albion, where I mean Brighton were good, decent. I mean they were good. They scored a decent goal through Jorginho Rutter, and but Cole Palmer had different ideas, different ideas, and uh, and I mean, what can you say? He absolutely tore Brighton apart. The first goal, I think. I mean, I might have missed it. I haven't seen it. I might I might, but I'm just guessing it was the one that where Madueke plays him through. There was an offside check, and there was an offside check, and and yeah. So uh, yeah. So there was an offside check. Second, there was a penalty. I'd be very disappointed if I were a West Ham fan, given the penalty that was given to Chelsea, because West Ham were denied a very similar penalty last time round by a referee, and so second, and Cole Palmer from penalties is like a dead cert. A goal, it is more or less always it is virtually 90% of the time it is a goal. And but I wanted to talk about his third and fourth goals. Meanwhile, after the third goal, which was an absolute peach of a free kick, which was an absolute peach of a free kick, uh, which was an absolute peach of a free kick. Bart Verbruggen But uh, Verbruggen was helpless, and he could only, dive for the cameras because he was getting nowhere near it. He was getting nowhere near it, and 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 yeah. So and so just a minute. So and yeah, as I was saying, it was it was a superb free kick by Cole Palmer, and Charles Baliba. Charles Baliba me gave Brighton a little bit of hope with his goal, but I mean, second, Jadon Sancho again. Jadon Sancho again found Cole Palmer, who found the back of the net this time, but Verbruggen again playing out from the back, and that is one thing I wanted to touch on, playing out from the back by keepers. I mean, Robert Sanchez, Robert Sanchez did that. He got found out. Charles Baliba scored because of that, and then Bart Verbruggen and other keepers as well trying that thing, and it just simply isn't coming off for them. It just simply isn't coming off for them, and yeah. So, uh, anyways, more on keepers trying to play out from the back later or some other day, but today I want to stick with I want to stick with just the weekend review. Although that it was one of the points that I did want to make. Anyways, yeah. So then then yeah, I mean, Charles Baliba made it 3-2, but then But then, but then Cole Palmer was found by Jadon Sancho when Bart Verbruggen again tried to play out of the from the back, and that left his team with a mountain to climb in the second half, and that was a mountain that they weren't able to climb out of. They weren't able to climb up and overcome. Second half was goalless. It ended 4-2 to it ended 4-2 to Chelsea, and they are now up to third. No, not third. They are up to fourth in the Premier League table as far as I can see. They are up to fourth indeed. They are up to fourth in the Premier League table, and yeah, so they'll be Enzo Maresca will be particularly delighted with how his team has played so far. So far, apart they've only lost one game, that was to champions Manchester City on the opening game of the season. In the opening game of the season, where Yeah, I mean, you could talk about stuff, but Enzo Maresca will be delighted. Cole Palmer, of course, player of the week, has to be maybe player of the month as well. Maybe player of the month for September as well. And yeah, Enzo Maresca might be the player of might be the player of sorry, manager of the month as well. Who knows? Cole Palmer's free kick might be the might be the might be the goal of the month. So could be Chelsea, could be sweeping, but that James Justin goal against Arsenal was a sublime goal as well. Was a sublime goal as well. So could be a Chelsea hat trick. But Chelsea owners, 2 weeks ago there were rumors that Chelsea owners are not on talking terms. There are this, that, and the other. Have you noticed that there is absolutely nothing that is coming out of Chelsea? It's just pin drop silence from the boardroom's point of view. It's all good on the field. Now Chelsea beat Barrow 5-0, 5-0 in the Carabao Cup, and of course, as I mentioned previously, they will travel to Newcastle St James's Park on 28th of October to take on Newcastle United, and hopefully, I mean, as a Newcastle fan, I'm just hoping that their minds will be elsewhere, and they have got they have got Europa Conference League coming up as well. So so I mean I mean yeah. So I'm just hopeful that Chelsea minds won't be on it, and they might play a weekend side, but you never know. And we'll see what happens. Is it a false dawn for Chelsea? I don't know. They have got some really good players, and players who last season didn't give their all. I mean, weren't at their best. I mean, it's it would be harsh of me to say that they aren't giving their all. Maybe they might lack uh, in a few things, but to say that they aren't giving their all is perhaps a little a little you know insensitive of me. But yeah. So I mean, I would say that that yeah, I mean, things are looking onwards and upwards for Chelsea. Up next for Chelsea, not sure who Chelsea play next, but let's just find out who Chelsea play next. Let's just find out who Chelsea play next. They are at home to Nottingham Forest, so you would think that's another game that they can get 3 points in. Although Forest would uh, would would be a tough nut to crack for would be a tough nut to crack for would be a tough nut to crack for um, it would be a tough nut to crack for Chelsea. So if they can get 3 points at Forest, then yeah, we'll of course be talking about Chelsea in glowing terms. And Enzo Maresca, I mean, he did well at Leicester last season, and he's made a really good start with with Chelsea as well. I mean, owners would be pretty happy with that. Although I have a feeling that going forward there might be there might be a few issues bubbling up as well, because because um, there are so many players at Chelsea that it's tough to keep everyone happy. So he will have to he will constantly have to keep his eye on the ball, and and what the hell is this? His eye on the ball, and keep making things happen. Um and so that everyone is happy at the club, is happy at the club, that is Chelsea. And yeah, so good on Chelsea, good result for them. And we'll see we'll see what happens up next. But let's move on to Liverpool, then we will get really into Manchester United, and what garbage they dished up, and Spurs as well, and how it was really good result for a really good result for Spurs as well. A really good result for Spurs as well. So Liverpool, I mean, despite Wolves' lowly position at the bottom of the table, it was always going to be a tough game. The midfield of João Gomes, Andre, and Mario Lamina is a good one, and they were always going to you know present a challenge for Liverpool, and they did. Ryan Nouri, another good player that they have at their disposal. And 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 yeah, I mean, so it was till very late that Ibrahima Konate opened the scoring for Liverpool with a header from a cross from Andy Robertson, and with a cross from Andy Robertson, and it was I mean, Wolves came back and scored through Ryan Nouri, but I mean, there are players. I said I wasn't going to hold back, but there are players who just I cannot stand the foul they commit. I mean, Nelson Semedo, your team had just gotten back into the game, and what are you doing? I mean, you giving them a penalty. I mean, let him go. If he scores, he scores, because I mean the XG for that is lower than the penalty that Mohamed Salah is going to take. So, I mean, I don't know. This guy was honestly at Barcelona. No wonder I mean, they, I mean, I'm trying to keep it nice here. So, no wonder they got rid of him. I mean, just get rid. I mean, brainless, absolutely clueless, absolutely no idea what's going on. I mean, there was, I mean, if he scores, he scores. But the penalty is literally Mohamed Salah will score, and and yeah. So once Mohamed Salah had the penalty, he made no mistake, and it was 2-0 to 2-1 to it was 2-1 to Liverpool, and I doubt, and it did, somehow I think affected the confidence of the team. Although Carlos Forbes had a chance, maybe he could have squared it, but Konate got a block in, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, Wolves, I don't know. I think they have a lot of quality. Jürgen Strand Larsen, uh, Matthias Cunha, and Lee Huang Chan, their midfield, Ryan Nouri. They have good quality to avoid relegation, and they have played. Who have they played? They played. I think they have played Arsenal. They played Liverpool and they played Newcastle. So fixtures will probably get easier for Wolves, and will probably get easier for Wolves. So I think, and just one win will probably mean that they are out of the relegation zone. They are out of the relegation zone. So I'm not too worried about Wolves right now. Not too worried about Wolves right now, and hopefully they will stay up. I mean, from speaking from a Wolves' fan point of view, and up next for Wolves is Brentford away. That's tough. I mean, that's tough, and but let's see what happens. Hopefully, they can get a result. If not, then yeah, we will see what happens, and we will see what happens, and yeah, well, time will tell. Now, let's get to it. Manchester United. I mean, who had an absolute stinker today? I mean, the the uh, the YouTubers, the Manchester United fans, all in there would be absolutely. I mean, getting it from all the fans in terms of views. Because Manchester United on Sunday. I hope it is Sunday where you are on Sunday. Put in one of the worst displays of of the year, certainly, and perhaps in the while that I've been watching Manchester United, which has been like which has been like uh, which has been like 24 years. I mean, they were horrid from minute 1 to minute 90, and when your talisman goes and does what Bruno Fernandes did, you have got no chance. Absolutely no chance. And to think, and if you think that Manchester United could have gotten anything from the game, probably, not probably, but there's always a chance they might have. But given what they had delivered in the first 42 minutes, in the 42nd minute, it was Bruno Fernandes who was sent off for Manchester United. If you think that Manchester United were going to get anything out of it, then you are very optimistic. Apologies. Then you are really optimistic. And Erik Ten Hag with his team news, with the players he picks, the formation, everything, he has to take some blame as well. He has to take the majority of the blame, because I mean, one thing I thought I wasn't listening with commentary and listening with the commentary on, but I did find out that Kobe Manu is now injured. Let's see how bad it is, or how bad it is, and what I mean, how long he might be out for, if anything. Looks like he won't play against Porto. If it's a hamstring injury, he won't play against Porto, and it's unlikely he'll play against Villa away. Villa away. I mean, we'll get to Villa away as well, but and oh sorry, Erik Ten Hag has spent a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money for Manchester United. Even this season, he spent money on Lenny Euro, 60 or 50 million, let's say 52 million pounds. He spent money on Manu Lugate, although most of it will be spent next season. Currently, he's on loan. Manuel Ugarte, I don't think is a good signing because he can win the ball back. He cannot pass the ball. He cannot pass the ball. That's why Luis Enrique got rid of Manuel Ugarte. He didn't see him as someone who could pass the ball, and that's why Luis Enrique got rid of him. Christian Eriksen too old. Manchester United made a loss in the transfer market, and if they keep going like this, then I'm sorry that Champions League looks like a pipe dream, which they won't get to unless they win the Europa League, which I think is easier this year because good teams good teams are in Champions League as well. Although I was looking at some of the teams, Athletic Bilbao, Athletic Bilbao, Roma, Olympic Lyon. These kind of teams are there. Tottenham are in there as well, and who else? I'm pretty sure there are other teams out in the Champions League as well. So, in Europa League, I meant. So, I mean, as fixtures become more and more grueling, intense, and and as fixtures become more and more grueling and intense, it will be it will be it will become more and more difficult for Manchester United to it will become more and more difficult for Manchester United to it will become more and more difficult for Manchester United to I mean, keep pace because financially they can't keep up. Even this year there was a lot of uproar about how Manchester United have been given so much leeway with the with the with the PSR rules. I mean, they were given a leeway of what 20 times, 20 times that of other clubs. And I mean, you look at clubs like Aston Villa, Newcastle United, Everton scrambling, absolutely scrambling to make ends meet, while to make sure that they are not fined or docked points or deducted points or penalties for point penalties are coming their way, and Manchester United are given leeway upon leeway, and yeah, so I mean their performances on the pitch will have to improve. They have given Bruno Fernandes a new contract, so that's more money on wages going out. And Bruno Fernandes, don't get me started. I mean, if any fan tells you that it wasn't a red card, it was a red card. You don't have to make contact with the players. You don't have to break players' legs in half to to get a red card. I mean, intent was there, although it's difficult to prove. Difficult to prove. So if it wasn't, then my apologies. But on the face of it, on the television set, it did look like that the intent was there to I mean he was not in control of his body, and I would be very surprised if that red card is overturned on appeal, or if even if Manchester United do appeal that red card. So yeah, I mean let's see what this means, what this means, and yeah, pressure. Eric Ten Hag is now under more pressure, in my opinion. Then, I mean, obviously, I might be stating the very obvious there. I might be stating the very obvious there, but Erik Ten Hag is now under tremendous amount of pressure. His young upward, his young stalwart Kobe Manu has gone off injured because under, he's been put under, so much stress. Kobe Manu only 19, playing so many games in so little time against he was playing against who did Manchester United play in the Carabao Cup? I'm sorry, he played against FC Twente in the Carabao Cup. Why can't I remember who Manchester United played? They played against Barnsley. Yeah, he didn't play. I don't think he didn't play. So apologies. And he didn't play. And Kobe Manu has gone off injured. Not sure how long he'll be out for. Not sure how long he'll be out for. And then Bruno Fernandes, the captain, the person who's been given a new contract, has been sent off. I mean, there is upheaval with the red card. A lot of accounts will tell you that it perhaps wasn't a red card, but for me, it was a definite red card. For me, it was a definite red card. If I mean, there are famous YouTubers out there who would tell you differently, but that's a red card. I mean, it's. I mean, it could have seriously injured. It is reckless. It's violent, and then 3 games is minimum that Bruno Fernandes should miss. And I mean, it is what it is, and yeah. So I mean, Erik Ten Hag, Joshua Zirkzee, Matthias de Ligt, Nussair Madrawi, Lisandro Martinez, Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes has been given a contract. Marcus Rashford, he keeps starting Marcus Rashford. So all of these are his players. He will have to take responsibility. Garnacho came through under him, and then he will have to take responsibility for Manchester United's perils, like for the issues at Manchester United. And if he is taking the credit for if he is taking the credit for all the trophies, despite only beating teams like Newport County, Reading, Charlton, and Barnsley. I mean, these are the draws that Manchester United get. Coventry City they had in the semi-final, and before that, I do, and that those two at home. So if you beat teams like that and you win trophies, then fair do to you. But and also in the Carabao Cup, they had Nottingham Forest, who had just been promoted that season. Um, and if you yes, in the final he beat Newcastle United, who were playing in a final after 20 odd years, and and yeah. So uh, I mean, Erik Ten Hag. It's the league and the Champions League that makes the world go round. That is the money maker for the Premier for the club. That's where the money comes in. That's where the big players want to be. And and if if uh, and if Manchester United, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of, I'd say 50%, 55, maybe 60% of the fans want Ten Hag gone. Maybe there are players that need to that need to take stock, that need to look at themselves, that need to look at the mirror as well, and that need to look at the mirror, in the mirror, and judge themselves. But yeah, I mean, if Eric Ten Hag wants to stay in the job, he needs to act, and act quickly, because if he loses Porto, if he loses the game against Aston Villa in the international break, I mean, it would be curtains for the Dutchman, and his reputation is in the mud currently. So I don't know if any other club will touch him with the 10-foot barge pole, with the 10-foot barge pole. So I don't know what where Ten Hag is currently, or whether he has it in him to whether he has it in him to to stem the tide that is coming his way, because the pressure might become unrelenting, and the pressure, if it becomes unrelenting, then there's only one thing that the owners can do, and and if I mean, if it happens, it happens. Then I mean, Eric Ten Hag will only have himself to blame, and will only have himself to blame, and yeah. So tough to say, and some of the players, they need to really look in the mirror, and I'm talking about Bruno Fernandes, who has not been good, for last 6 or 7 months. I mean, he wasn't good for Portugal in the Euros either. He might have scored 1 or 2 goals, but he wasn't particularly impressive for he wasn't particularly impressive for he wasn't particularly impressive for uh, Portugal at Euros as well. Some people might see it differently, but I can only tell you what I see, and I can only tell you what I see, and Onana. I mean, that is Onana is Erik Ten Hag signing, and he looks like a Bambi on ice. He looks like a Bambi on ice. With with uh, with every shot that is taken at his goal, and I mean, and with every and just a minute, I keep getting. Yeah, so he keeps getting beaten with shots that he should be saving quite comfortably, or at least should be doing a lot better with. But I mean, what so uh his team selections, his formation, his player selections, his team changes, Eric Ten Hag. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't follow Manchester United. I don't follow. Uh, I don't care what happens with Manchester United. They have had a lot of good times in the past. But I'm going to close this poll right now, and yeah. So they have had a lot of good times in the past, Manchester United, and I don't care about Manchester United, and how they do, but how they do and If he gets sacked, he gets sacked. It will be of his own doing. It will be of his own doing, and yeah, we will see where it takes us, and where it takes us. Uh, Manchester United currently 12th in the Premier League with -3 goal difference, and -3 goal difference, and I mean Spurs on the other hand, they uh, they 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 must be absolutely delighted with the game. It absolutely went perfectly, absolutely perfectly for Spurs in the game. It absolutely couldn't have gotten any better from minute 1 to minute 90, 95, 96, or however many 105 minutes in the first, 5 minutes in the second, and it absolutely went perfectly. And when your center half beats four players to set up a goal, including your defensive midfielder, and none of your players take a professional foul, it's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. I mean, credit to Mickey Van de Ven. He's one of the fastest players in the league. He uh, he did so against Everton as well, and he did so against Everton as well, and he did so against Everton as well, and yeah, I mean, and yeah, so the Spurs would be absolutely over the moon with the over the moon with the result. Dominic Solanke scored. Brennan Johnson 4 games in a row that he scored. James Madison was, I didn't pay particular attention to his performance. Must have been good because I mean Bruno Fernandes sort of went to injure him, or like it was his tackle on him that got him a red card. Lisandro Martinez committed a bad foul and and on Madison he got booked. So I mean, it was a particularly good performance. Ange must be delighted. His plan A, he didn't need plan B today. He didn't need plan B today, and he'll be delighted. And onwards and upward for Spurs as well. Brilliant from them, brilliant for them, and brilliant for them, and yeah. Brilliant for them and brilliant for them and yeah, they have got Brighton up next in the league. I'm not sure. Rangers is it probably for Spurs in the Champions League. So they'd I mean whoever it is, we'll deal with that later. We'll deal with that later, and we'll deal with that later, and yeah, I mean Spurs. Let's see where it takes them, and if it's a one-off against Brighton, they flop next week, then then yeah, it will count for nothing or very little, but let's see how it goes for Spurs. How it goes for Spurs in the near and distant future, and for Ange Postecoglu, or if they can maybe even win a trophy this season, which will be good which will be good for their confidence. So I mean, Ten Hag won the, or should I say lost the battle for the managers under pressure, and Ange Postecoglou with a big sigh of relief, I would think for him, and yeah. So I mean, great news for Spurs, and yeah. So yeah. Let's just quickly go through the other results, the four other results that we have to look at. Four other results. Aston Villa. Let's begin with them. Aston Villa were away at Ipswich Town, Portman Road. I mean, general consensus was that Villa would start favourites, but Liam Delap, he might have been at Man City at some point of time. Liam Delap gave Aston Villa the lead against Villa. Gave Ipswich Town the lead against Aston Villa, and then Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, They both scored, and Aston Villa were in comfortable position, but then up popped Liam Delap with a Omari Hutchinson assist to make it 2-2, and that's how it finished. Mm, Aston Villa have got the Bayern Munich in midweek in Champions League. Let's hope they can put up a decent show. I mean everyone. I certainly believe Aston Villa will be underdogs against uh, against against Bayern Munich, the might of Bayern Munich, and against the might of Bayern Munich, and it's at Villa Park, so you never know. And then Aston Villa have got Manchester United, who will be without Bruno Fernandes and Kobe Mano. So it will be a game that they will fancy their chances in, and then they can maybe climb up the they can climb up the table. So yeah, we'll see um, how it goes for Aston Villa against Bayern Munich. But for now, it's 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 absolutely brilliant by Aston Villa. I mean, yeah, two dropped points, but but they know that it's long season, Champions League. They have to balance. They have to balance. They have to balance a lot of stuff in it, and yeah. So yeah, I mean there will be times where Aston Villa would need to figure things out. So looking forward to Aston Villa versus Bayern Munich, how it pans out, and yeah. So how it pans out for Aston Villa. Uh, Two dropped points, I'd say so, having taken the lead, and yeah, Aston Villa got past Walsall, was it, in the Carabao Cup as well, and I mean they have a good enough squad, so I guess they'll be able to cope. And then we had the game between uh, which one was it? Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. I mean, bad result for Nottingham Forest. They went into the game unbeaten in the Premier League so far, in the Premier League so far, and the performance that they put up was. I mean, I didn't watch the game, so I'm just basically reacting on the result. So not a good result for Forest, especially at home. And when you have beaten a team like Liverpool away, you expect that you'll be able to you'll be able to beat or get a result. You will be able to get results against results against a team like Fulham at home. But that's why it's the best league in the world. It's the best league in the world because anyone can beat anyone at any given opportunity, and that's what Nottingham Forest found out to their dismay. But apparently, by looking at stuff, I do get the feeling that they I do get the feeling that the fans do feel hard done by with the way things way things were, and with the way things were, and once again they were let down by once again they were let down by the match officials. So Nottingham Forest, they've got Chelsea away next. Not an easy game. Chelsea on a crest of a wave. So let's see how it goes. Again, now the last two games I wanted to discuss before we talk about some other stuff. A little more, just won't be long. And then we had the Brentford versus West Ham game, 1-1 draw, boring maybe. But Brentford, now 3 games in a row, they have scored a goal in the very first minute of the game, which is absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable from Brentford, and absolutely remarkable from Brentford, and yeah, credit to them, and credit to them for keeping keep to start at such a blistering pace, and at such a blistering pace. But once again they let the lead slip. Last time last two occasions they went on to lose the game to Man City and Spurs, 2-1 and 3-1 respectively, but this time they at least got a draw. So Brentford are now 11th in the Premier League, just above Manchester United, and just above Manchester United, and and yeah, and yeah. I don't know who Brentford have got next. They've got Wolves at home. Should have known that. I just saw it earlier, and and yeah. So uh, so I expect Brentford to win that game, or at least they will be the favorites going into the game, and going into the game and yeah. So we'll see West Ham. They were hammered in Carabao Cup. They were hammered last week. So Julian Lopetegui can take a point and go home, and look at the table where they are 14th, and have got Ipswich Town at home, so they'll fancy themselves against Ipswich at home. Fancy themselves against Ipswich at home. Maybe 3 points will lift the mood at the London Stadium, right? Yeah, London Stadium. Maybe that will lift the mood, and yeah, we'll go from there. And last but not the least, the game between the game between uh, Everton and Crystal Palace. Everton receiving a big boost during midweek that their takeover was most likely to be completed by Friedkin Group. The fans are pretty fed up with the Farhad Moshiri and the likes. So yeah, I mean, so God bless his soul. Peter Rich, no, what was his name? The previous chairman, I'm not sure what his name, Ken something, and who passed away. Uh, and uh, and yeah, so it'll be. I mean, a big a big relief for a big relief for Everton fans. But unfortunately, they went down a goal down to Crystal Palace. Mark Gahey scored and gave Palace the lead. But after the break, Everton turned it around. Dwight McNeil with two goals to make it 2-1, and that's how it finished. Sean Dyche getting Everton their first win of the Premier League season. Up next for them are Newcastle United. I mean, from a Newcastle point of view, I hope Newcastle can get a win. Newcastle can get a win uh, against Everton at Goodison Park last year was an absolute shit show with a 3-1 with a 3-0 loss with Dwight McNeil scoring as well, Beto scoring, and yeah, so uh, I mean, Crystal Palace, they were supposed to be, pushing for Europe. Doesn't look like it. I mean, I'm only laughing because of the transfer saga between Mark Gahey, Newcastle United, and and Crystal Palace, which did happen, and now Crystal Palace are in relegation zone, and if Southampton win tomorrow, they will be thrown into the further deep into the relegation zone, and yeah, so uh, Oliver Glasner, I don't think he's under pressure, but he needs results quickly because the teams that Crystal Palace have currently played are, I mean, like they played Manchester United, they played uh, they played Manchester United, they played Everton, they played West Ham, they played, who else have they played? Wolves? Have they played Wolves? I mean, West Ham they played Brentford, and so my point was they haven't played any big teams as of yet, and if they are struggling now to get results, then it is not going to be easy when they play the likes of Man City, Liverpool, who they have got next. Then it won't be easy. They have still got to play Spurs. They still got to play Man City. They've still got to play Arsenal. They've still got to play Chelsea. No, Chelsea they have played. Chelsea they have played. But they got a good decent draw against Chelsea. So yeah, I mean, Palace need to need to turn things around and quickly because I mean I don't think they will get relegated. I don't think they will get relegated, but I mean Crystal Palace fans wanted more, so did West Ham fans. Uh, but as of now, both managers are relatively struggling. So that ways it's not good for Palace, and they would want they would want results to come their way before they start playing big teams. They have to play Aston Villa as well. I think Crystal Palace have to play Aston Villa as well, and they have to play Newcastle United as well. So I mean, Crystal Palace need to get their finger out if they want to perform well in this season. I don't think they are in any relegation trouble or not. I mean, uh, managers under pressure. Erik Ten Hag, I think, is certainly under pressure. Steve Cooper, because of his previous jobs, etc. I think he'll be under pressure, and and who else? Julian Lopetegui, for the money that he spent, he'll be under pressure. Uh, Russell Martin, maybe Gary O'Neill. I'm not sure who else you'd say is under pressure. Not every team is going to go down. Every only three teams will go down. And yeah, I think, but you worry for Erik Ten Hag with the way his team has been playing Manchester United, and overall things around the club as well. So that ways it doesn't you know it isn't pleasant reading for Manchester United. It isn't reading for Manchester United. Uh, Goal of the week, I'd probably say James Justin, uh, rather than um, rather than uh, I'd say James Justin rather than Cole Palmer. But yeah, so I guess I've rambled on for about 90 minutes, an hour and a half, and I'm fucking tired. I'll get back to my bed, and then which is not that far away, and then I'll lie down and you know let's see where we end up in in the in the next few days. Champions League, Europa League, Europa Conference League, everything is up there for us to watch. By the way, Real Madrid are currently 1-0 up against Atletico Madrid. So Eder Militao with the goal. And yeah, so Eder Militao with the goal, and we'll see. We'll see. Big week ahead. Big week ahead of the big week ahead in the Champions League and European football altogether. So I'll I guess take your leave. I'll see you in my next few videos. But I would I would say that if you can share, like, subscribe to the videos, then that would be a big help. So please do consider, and please do consider that, and do consider giving a video a like, and do consider subscribing to the channel. That will be a big help. I'll uh, I'll uh, I'll take your leave now. I'll take your leave now, and I'll see you in my next few videos, and next few videos and next few videos, and yeah, we'll obviously talk about a load of loads of other stuff as we you know as we move along the European as we move along the European football market, and we'll bring other leagues into it as well, other European leagues into it as well, and yeah, so do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and if possible, do leave comments in the chat as well. So that's a humble request before I move on. And once again, I'd say, as I always say, do take good care of yourselves. Take care. Stay safe. Bye for now. See you soon.